It started as an ordinary day at a quiet playground in Minneapolis, kids playing, laughter filling the air. But then something unimaginable happened. A stolen car appeared out of nowhere, speeding across the field with a 10-year-old behind the wheel, narrowly missing children and teachers. How did it get to this point? And who is this young boy with a history so shocking it left even the police at a loss for words? You won't believe what unfolds next. Watch till the end to find out who this boy is. But first, if you're enjoying our stories and want to support the channel, hitting that like button really helps us out and means a lot. You'd be doing us a huge favor. In the heart of Minneapolis, an ordinary September day took a chilling turn when a 10-year-old boy committed a dangerous act that left the community both stunned and fearful. On September 20th, 2024, the young boy was arrested for stealing a car and recklessly driving it across the grounds of Nellie Stone Johnson School, an elementary school in the area. What seemed like an ordinary afternoon for children playing on the school playground quickly spiraled into chaos and panic as the boy zoomed through the field in a stolen vehicle, narrowly missing students and staff. The shocking incident was captured on camera, showing the car tearing across the school grounds, leaving behind a trail of dust and terrified onlookers. In the footage, the car can be seen barreling across the grass, dangerously close to the children playing outside. Some ran for cover, while others stood frozen in fear. The stolen vehicle seemed unstoppable as it veered across the field and eventually made its way onto the sidewalk, narrowly missing those who tried to avoid its erratic path. Teachers and staff, in a desperate effort to protect the children, began shouting and ushering them to safety. The scene was pure chaos, with school personnel doing everything they could to move the children away from danger. Witnesses could hardly believe what they were seeing. A young boy, just 10 years old, behind the wheel of a stolen car, driving with no regard for the lives he was putting at risk. His actions didn't just jeopardize his own safety, but threatened the lives of everyone in the vicinity. However, what truly shocked authorities and the community wasn't just the fact that a child had stolen a car and driven recklessly. This wasn't the first time the boy had been involved in a dangerous joyride. According to reports from the Minneapolis Police Department, MPD, the 10-year-old had been involved in a shocking number of criminal activities for someone his age. Since May 2023, the boy had accumulated at least 30 entries in police records for a variety of offenses, ranging from auto theft to robbery to assault with a dangerous weapon. He had already been arrested at least twice before for stealing cars, and his involvement in such serious crimes had left police grappling with how to handle a child whose behavior had already become so deeply ingrained. Police Chief Brian O'Hara spoke about the alarming nature of the case, saying, "It is unfathomable that a 10-year-old boy has been involved in this level of criminal activity without effective intervention." His words cut to the core of the issue. How does a community respond when a child so young is already entangled in such a dangerous and destructive pattern of behavior? O'Hara's frustration was evident as he acknowledged the challenges law enforcement and social services faced in trying to break this cycle. While many in the community were calling for immediate consequences for the boy's actions, O'Hara made it clear that a traditional approach, such as imprisonment, wasn't the answer. A prison sentence for the 10-year-old is not an acceptable option, O'Hara stated. He emphasized the importance of finding ways to intervene that could prevent the child from continuing down this path without resorting to measures that would only further entrench him in a criminal lifestyle. Instead, O'Hara called for immediate action from everyone involved in the child's life, saying, "Those who can stop this behavior going forward must act now to help this child and his family." While the boy's family has cooperated with the authorities, they too are seeking help to prevent their son or anyone else from being seriously injured or killed in the future. According to the Minneapolis Police Department statement, the family is deeply concerned about their son's safety and the safety of others. They recognize that without intervention, the boy's behavior could escalate even further with tragic consequences. In response to the situation, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, HCAO, issued a statement addressing the charges brought against the boy. The charges were filed because of the significant safety implications both for this child and the broader community. However, the HCAO acknowledged that this case highlights a much larger issue facing the juvenile justice system. An increasing number of young offenders who are too young or not competent enough to stand trial, but who pose a significant safety risk if they remain in their current environment. According to the HCAO, when a child as young as this boy is involved in serious criminal activity, the case is often paused while a psychological assessment is conducted. The goal of the assessment is to determine whether the child understands the legal proceedings and is capable of assisting in their own defense. If the assessment shows that the child is not competent, the case must be dismissed or suspended, and the child is released from custody. While this may seem like a relief for the child, it presents a complicated dilemma for authorities. Releasing the boy without addressing the underlying issues that led to his behavior only risks future incidents. In this case, both the HCAO and MPD have acknowledged a disturbing pattern. More and more serious crimes are being committed by young offenders in the area. And this boy is not the only child who has found himself on the wrong side of the law. The HCAO stated that they are working closely with the MPD, county officials, and state partners to find safe, out-of-home placements for children like this boy, children who have complex needs and require specialized care to address their behavioral issues. This is only one example of the revolving door we're dealing with, arresting and rearresting the same juveniles for auto theft and other violent crimes, Chief O'Hara said, highlighting the difficulties authorities face in trying to break this cycle. He went on to say, "This is a complex issue, and we need every entity involved in intervention to come together immediately to establish short and long-term solutions." The 10-year-old boy was arrested once again following the most recent incident and booked into the Hennepin County Juvenile Detention Center. But the question remains, what will happen to him now? Is there hope for meaningful intervention, or will he continue down a dangerous path that could lead to even more serious consequences in the future? While the boy waits in custody, authorities are working behind the scenes to determine the next steps. There are no easy answers in a case like this. On one hand, the boy's actions have endangered the lives of others, and the community is rightfully concerned about his behavior. But on the other hand, he is still just a child who has already been failed by a system that couldn't intervene in time to prevent his descent into crime. For now, the focus remains on finding a solution that doesn't just punish the boy, but also addresses the root causes of his behavior. Everyone involved, from law enforcement to social workers to community leaders, must come together to ensure that the boy gets the help he needs before it's too late. This is more than just a case of a stolen car. It's a wake-up call for a community grappling with how to protect its children from falling through the cracks. As the investigation continues, Chief O'Hara and other city leaders are pushing for urgent reforms that could help prevent future incidents like this one. They are calling for a more comprehensive approach to juvenile justice, one that takes into account the unique needs of young offenders and provides them with the resources and support they need to turn their lives around. In the meantime, the boy's family remains hopeful that this will be the turning point that helps him break free from the cycle of crime he's been caught in for far too long. Whether or not that happens remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. This is not just a story about a 10-year-old stealing a car. It's a story about a child in crisis and a community that must come together to find a way forward.